Hello, you're watching Initiative Africa. My name is Asha Sampert. Welcome to your weekly magazine featuring Africa on the move through smart innovations and initiatives that work. Today, it's all about football and more specifically about women in football. Well, it's time for Initiative Africa. Let's get on with the show with our top stories today. Women who love football owe her a significant advancement. At an early age, Togolese Latré-Kayi Lawson-Hogban realized that football would be her life and mission. She became a referee before rising to the top of the hierarchy dominated by men. She is now a FIFA referee instructor, the first female member of the Confederation of African Football's Referees Committee. She is our guest today.
I'm a pioneer of Togolese refereeing and a pioneer of instruction at the CAF level. As you said, I was the first woman to become a FIFA instructor in Africa.
We head for Goma in the DRC, where FIFA has included a 24-year-old woman on its list of international referees, a feat in a country where men still dominate the profession.
Rachel is one of the icons in the refereeing sector here at home. She referees very well and her behavior on the playground is outstanding.
The new Clinic Home platform in Cameroon allows health consultations online as if you were at home.
It's an appreciable concept. We have already seen it elsewhere in more developed countries. We will not hesitate to recommend it to others wherever we can.
Well, her name is Rachel Zindula. She is only 24 years old and has managed to convince the International Association of Football Federation, the FIFA. Since January, this referee from Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been on the FIFA's list of Congolese international referees. Her family, trainers and colleagues are delighted in a country where refereeing is still primarily a male profession. Our correspondent Daniel Mishombero met them. Take a look.
Rachel Zindula has found the path to her dreams. Fair, rigorous, and with a strong charisma, Rachel trains with the other referees 3 times a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Today, Sunday, is a training day at the Unity Stadium in Goma before officiating the match between 22 Kibog and the Bukavu Rex. Rachel keeps practicing.
Being a female referee in Congo or Africa, you first have to like it, and then there's a training course that each urban association organizes. Our Urban Football Association of Goma, the EUFGO, provides referee training courses here in Goma. I had a vocation and then went through training. I was supported and supervised, and here I am today, a referee.
Daily life in Goma does not make things easy. While filming this report, North Kivu province was at war and the threat was at the doorstep of the city, which is the provincial capital. But despite the fear, Rachel was determined to stay put.
I don't plan to leave the city. Unfortunately, we're used to this war, which has become a routine in the east of the country. This is our daily lives. We're used to it.
Rachel started her career between 2015 and 2016 in the Urban Football Association of Goma, EUFGO. She started a referee initiation training program at the local level until she officiated her first match between 2017 and 2018 at the Unity Stadium in Goma. As the firstborn in her family, she worked hard to reconcile her personal and professional life in a country like the DRC, where most household tasks are reserved for women.
I wake up very early in the morning, as there are training programs quite early in the morning. There are also days without training. But with my diary, I have already planned everything, making it more manageable. Sometimes I wake up very early in the morning and do household chores and then training. And on specific training days, I start with the training and then the chores.
Another obstacle is the tension on the pitch. Referees are often confronted with delicate situations, and here again, Rachel has to deal with them. The young referee always refers to what she has learned during her training to maintain a peaceful atmosphere in the stadium. She would still like to improve her skills and participate in matches across the continent or even the rest of the world, but these opportunities are expensive.
It is not easy to cope with tense matches and aggression, but as we have been trained, we apply the training methods on how to behave and deal with the emotions of the players and the public. It is through these methods that we can cope. These are difficulties we encounter, but the techniques we have learned help us to get through them. The second difficulty is the lack of means. I often miss high-level seminars because of the lack of financial means.
The reveal of her appointment by FIFA was great news for her. Rachel now dreams of becoming a great referee at the global level.
This nomination has brought me a lot of joy, also to my family, my colleagues. It's a great thing. I dream of becoming a great referee. The others have evolved in this direction. There's Olivier Safari and Jean-Jacques Ndala, who have evolved into becoming great referees. Why not me? I need to follow their paths. And why not as a referee abroad?
The other happy man of the day is this man in blue, Jean the Dieu, the coach of Iragongo FC. He coached Rachel and is very proud.
Today, we are very proud, very happy, especially as she represents the province of North Kivu on an international level. She has a noble future. I hope that she makes the best decisions and does not regret anything.
Kisuma Jean-Pierre, the striker of Iragongo FC, a player from the city of Goma, asserts her impeccable behavior and outstanding attitude.
Rachel is one of the icons in the refereeing sector here at home. She referees very well and her behavior on the playground is outstanding.
Rachel Zindula was appointed among the few referees to officiate the Congo Women's Cup last June. She was the central referee for the matches of the 13th tournament up to the quarterfinals before being appointed twice as the fourth referee in the semi-finals and grand finals. Today, an international referee, Rachel can officiate all matches, men and women alike, in all competitions in the DRC and Africa. She now hopes to continue further training and pursue her dreams.
And now it's time to meet our guest Latré-Kayi Lawson-Hogban in Lomé. This FIFA referee instructor, dubbed the Iron Lady, rightly supports the rise of young female referees, but before that she was a young professional confronted with a very masculine reality of the game which she managed to bypass. She made refereeing a profession in which women now have their rightful place. She spoke to our journalist Parfait Agboste about how she got started. Take a look.
Hello, Mrs. Latré-Kayi Ejona.
Bonjour, Monsieur Parfait.
You were the first woman in Africa to become a FIFA referee instructor and the first woman to be a member of the referees committee at the Confederation of African Football CAF. Does being the first define you?
Bon, première, oui. C'est vrai que je suis première.
Yes, indeed, I'm first in a lot of things. It has to be said that the word me can be irritable, but I'm a pioneer of Togolese refereeing and a pioneer of instruction at the CAF level.
De la CAF. As
you said, I was the first woman to become a FIFA instructor in Africa and the first member of the CAF referees committee. This happened thanks to an interesting encounter. It was in 2004 I took part in the Third World Conference on Women in Sport, where at the end of a plenary session I met the former president of the CAF, Dr. Issa Hayatou. He was the CAF's fifth president. And I approached him even though I was already retired as a referee and asked him, Would it not be a good idea for us former referees to become match commissioners and instructors? So he said to me, Madam, we are in the process of promoting women at the IOC level. So if your federation writes to me, it should work in theory. That's what he told me. So when I returned from this mission where I took part in this Third World Conference on Women and Sport as Togo's delegate, because I was an advisor to the executive committee of the Togo National Olympic Committee. So on my way back, I reported to the former president of the federation, Colonel Roch Nassimbe, who instructed his general secretary, Mr. Asogbavi Espoir, to send a note to the CAF as requested by its presidents. This was done, and the letter came back saying that the Togolese Football Federation already had its quota of match commissioners because each national association is entitled to 2 match commissioners at the CAF level.
What did you do then?
So I met the president again. I told him no, the CAF president had asked for a separate list aside from none. So the general secretary rewrote the text, and that's when the CAF issued a memo to all the national associations asking them to appoint female match commissioners. This was done in 2005, and an invitation to a regional training was sent to Algeria, and the CAF specified both men and women. Because it was challenging to be in a male environment, and at the time when the internships came, it was the men who went. And now, thanks to the memo sent, I was eligible to go with my colleague to this regional training program, and I ranked 3rd in the program and had my CAF referee instructor diploma. So it started from there that women joined the CAF training scheme as match commissioners and referee instructors. At the time, I was alone, but today there are plenty of women match commissioners and referee instructors.
Is this something important in the profession?
Yes, it's a signal, an important one, because personally I love football. It was my great passion. I didn't want to do anything except football, and I realized that I was perhaps going to keep this passion and know-how that I wouldn't transmit to my younger peers. So the chairman understood half-heartedly and agreed. I want to say a big thank you to him today, because perhaps I wasn't going to sound the alarm, and we would be here today still begging for a place for women in refereeing and administration.
What do you think women can bring to sports and to the refereeing discipline in particular?
Yes, I would say that football and refereeing as a sport is educational, and we know that educating our children is largely the responsibility of women. So a woman who is a sportswoman can only pass on good education to her child and her offspring. Because a woman can be self-sufficient with sports, she can share this passion and pass it on to her children. Woman of character, not a bad character of course, but someone who asserts herself. Sport helps women to do that, as a woman to find her place. So this sport is more educational. And then it's also cultural, because it brings people together. It's relational because we come up against many authorities in our sporting environment. You see, there are lots of advantages in this sport of refereeing or refereeing instruction.
How are African referees trained?
In Africa, there's training at the national level, in the national associations, then information at the CAF level, and training at the FIFA level. So at the CAF level, there are several selections in several categories of referees, as there are in any association. There are promotional referees, young talent referees, Elite B referees, Elite A referees, and professional referees. So each entity has its training program, and there are demotions and promotions. Now, at tournaments, that is the African Cup of Nations, the Champions League, etc., When we reach the quarterfinals, the selection of the cream of the crop is done, and they are trained to continue the matches from the quarterfinals onwards. At the CAN level, there are training sessions that last a week to 10 days, to get these referees up to speed before the tournament. This is done in every category. The same thing is done at the FIFA level. When FIFA selects its referees for various tournaments, they are also trained before the tournament.
What qualities are essential for a young player to become a referee, and what advice would you give her?
Oui, nous avons au total 3 qualités, si j'ai bonne mémoire. Il y a la qualité morale.
You have to master the principles of the game, of course. You have to be physically fit to run. You have to have an acceptable moral quality to avoid corruption and so on.
Être physiquement apte pour pouvoir courir et avoir une qualité morale acceptable pour éviter.
You have to be impartial about the match. If you're not impartial, you don't have good moral qualities.
As a senior referee, what one piece of advice would you give a young female football fan aspiring to become a referee?
First, I would say that they have to be passionate about what they are doing. Without passion, if you're not passionate about what you're doing and just because someone is doing it so you will want to do it, no. They have to be passionate about it, and when you want to do arbitration, you have to do it well. That means, as I said, having the moral quality, the physical quality, and the intellectual capability. And when they get into it, they need to know that this sport can feed them and that they need to devote themselves to it to reach the professional level. Because in any entity, you're always looking to evolve. You're not looking to put yourself down.
Welcome to the second part of our show. Since last year, Yaoundé and Douala, Cameroon's two major cities, have benefited from the services of the Clinic Home digital platform. Quite simply, it facilitates services such as home medical consultations, teleconsultations, laboratory tests, delivery of medicines, nursing care and physiotherapy, all without leaving home, an innovation introduced 4 years ago by Dr. Philip Wanja. Maxime Farrell-Bunia reports. Take a look. Online consultation is just a click away. Stéphane, who has been in bed for a few days now, has taken the plunge thanks to the e-Santé Cameroon platform. With a smile, he tells us about his motivations.
The fact that medicine is provided at home, psychologically, is a change because we are always afraid to go to the hospital. Now, the fact that someone comes to treat you at home, it's much different.
Alerted by a letter, Dr. Philip, accompanied by a nurse, went to his home. Here, everything starts with the taking of vital parameters before the actual treatment.
While administering the care, I anticipate the possible complications related to the diagnosis that I have made. Depending on the complications envisaged or conceivable, the plan is as follows. If I can safely treat him at home, I do it, as is the case with our patient. Or if I realize that it's not possible to treat him at home, and it's better to transfer the patient to an emergency unit or specialized emergencies, then eHealth has at its disposal means of medical vehicles to transport the patient safely to the hospital.
Like Stéphane, many of these patients are already benefiting from the services of this virtual clinic. It offers online consultations, teleconsultation, and home care, among other things. A life-saving innovation after months of testing in the healthcare sector.
The idea of creating Clinic Home, a virtual hospital, even comes from an observation that has been made in public, private, and denominational hospitals where we have practiced. It is mainly the waiting times that are increasingly prolonged, whether at the level of emergencies or routine consultations. Mainly for general practitioners, the waiting times continue to grow, yet among these waiting patients, some patients are much more serious than others and could have been treated elsewhere.
If the beginnings were complex in a country where internet access is still low, it must be said that the startup's success today puts a smile on the face of many. If the activity is no longer only virtual but also physical and employs 10 people full-time, nearly 200 others benefit indirectly and part-time. The aim here is to make life easier.
The home treatment that we provide in the virtual hospital Clinic Home at the same rate as in any clinic. We are not going to make financial considerations because medicine is not about that. We do not want to charge anything more than what is charged in hospitals.
Established in Cameroon about 4 years ago, this virtual hospital specializes in treating benign pathologies. More than 5 million people have already visited the e-santé website.
It's an appreciable concept. We have already seen it elsewhere in more developed countries. We will not hesitate to recommend it to others wherever we can.
While Clinic Home aims to provide all Cameroonian families with a family doctor who will take care of their follow-up checkups at home, the promoter intends to popularize the use of this platform in the long term.
To last 4 years in an activity like this, which is also innovative, you must necessarily have a return on investment. It's not necessarily that we will make these profits right away, but we manage to last because we build customer loyalty. We have more and more new customers and more new insurance companies that trust us, allowing us to have good performance indicators and believe that we will grow.
It's worth noting that the application has already reached nearly 5,000 people in Douala and Yaoundé, a windfall boosting the ardor of the designers who intend to make the service accessible to all. However, access to the internet remains an obstacle, given that the internet penetration rate varies only between 21 and 22% in Cameroon. Can a woman run on the football pitch when many detractors still believe that she should be in the kitchen? This question is becoming less and less topical for women referees in football in Africa. This stereotype is being abandoned thanks to women like Latré-Kayi Lawson-Hogban, referee instructor for the Africa Cups of Nations and the FIFA. Let's hear more of what she has to say.
Ms. Lawson-Hogban, your personal career is quite remarkable. What are your earliest memories of football?
Merci. Je dirais que
my earliest memories are of playing street football, which means recreational football, because when my father died, I was taken to Bijenga, 30 kilometers from Dapong, with my older brother. I was the only girl in the school from elementary to grade 3, so I had to play with the boys. I was on holiday and a goalkeeper. That was when I developed a taste for football. When I left primary school, I went to the Nasable secondary school, and the sport had disappeared for the girls, so I took up other disciplines. But along the way, my older brother, the late Lawson Lattis and Yame, became a FIFA referee, and because I loved football, I used to go to the pitch. And as soon as he finished refereeing, when he came home, I turned to an instructor for his debriefing. And one day he was nervous, you know, when you have played 90 minutes and it's still not easy to be very cheerful. He said to me, "You know refereeing so well, so why don't you go?" So that's when I got into refereeing, and that's when I started in 1991.
What triggered your interest in refereeing?
It was a challenge from my late brother that got me into refereeing. It took me a long time afterwards, but I said to him, "I'm going to prove to you, yes." I'm going to prove to you that I can referee too.
Have you discovered any special features related to women refereeing?
Yes, it used to be the exclusive gender, but that has now disappeared because we see women at major matches at the CAF and National Association levels. We've seen women at the World Cup, and just as the game's laws are universal, refereeing today has also become universal. Gender is no longer an issue.
Do you see any particular difficulties or benefits in being a female referee?
To answer your question, the benefits outweigh the difficulty, and we know that football has long been reserved to men. In Pierre Coubertin's time, women were there to applaud the skill of the men. So it's only now that we've arrived at the scene, or the pitch if you prefer. It's perfectly normal for us to have difficulty integrating in the men's world. But if you have this passion, you can smartly, really intelligently banish these constraints and feed your passion. There are cultural, religious and social constraints, all of which block the development of women. And you know that in our circles people say that women are an inheritance left to us by our parents, which is now creating problems for us. They say that women were born to stay at home, and people find it strange that a woman should be running around the field or the pitch when she should be in the kitchen. So you see, you'll hear all kinds of things of swearing, and if you're not brave, you'll throw in the towel. And that's not the case for a woman who knows what she wants. As I said, the upsides are more relational, financial, cultural and educational. What a woman learns, she always passes on to her offspring, and with passion and character, you'll see that the children of sportswomen are better educated than other women. That's a reality. But these children are better educated because these women pass on better values to their offspring.
Since 2021, you have been an honorary member of the African Sports Forum. In this regard, what evolution have you observed?
Yes, honorary member, I'd like to thank the ASF here, and it's a continuation of the other honors that have been bestowed on me. I have already been made a Knight of the National Order of Merit at the state level. I received the VEN prize in the years 2000, and the ASF is honoring me by making me an honorary member of this forum. I'm at their disposal to make my small contribution to the development of sports. Having said that, during the sporting activities at Golf 7, I was invited to a round table. After the round table, at least 6 or 7 girls signed up simultaneously for the refereeing course. So they are doing a good job, and I wish them all the best.
And that's it. Initiative Africa is over for today. You can find the interview of Latré-Kayi, Lawson-Hogban, as well as our shows on our website, africanow.com. And of course, feel free to follow us on all our social media channels by liking, sharing and commenting with the hashtag Initiative Africa. And don't forget, next week, same time, same channel, I'll see you again for a new edition of Business Africa. Have a great week. And until next time, goodbye.